for my garbage person of the week, I decided to lighten things up in a dark humor sort of way and go old school with someone that, if you told an average right-winger about this segment, you would imagine this person was my garbage person a lot, but historically has almost never been. But this week, my garbage person is Donald Trump. That's actually kind of scary if you put his head right there. The reason he's a garbage person is you might have heard that we have a pandemic on and that a lot of people are dying, and our government doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. And there are protests going on to this day about people who are concerned about police killing people all over the country. We have these serious issues, and rather than doing anything about it, even things that I don't necessarily agree with, but doing something about it, here is what we get out of the perhaps singularly most powerful person in the world.
Fashioned incandescent light bulbs. I brought them back. They have two nice qualities. They're cheaper and they're better. They look better. They make you look so much better. That's important to all of us. But they're better and much cheaper. And they were mandated out, legislated out, and we brought them back, and they're selling like hotcakes.
That you might think, wait, no, but isn't that from last year? Yeah, no, he was doing it last year, but he's also doing it now. He's doing it during the pandemic.
You have another one that I would also like to hear.
I have another one. Okay, so I have things to say about incandescent bulbs, but
okay, do it.
Sure. No, that was right now. As over 900 people died yesterday, the day that he said that, from coronavirus, he's talking about the bulbs. And I just want to say, the main reason he's the garbage person is, like, I want to clock his head against something. Like, you have to do something. You have to wake up. For whatever reason. Because it's the right thing to do, because we got to save lives, because it'll help you get reelected, whatever. You got to do something. But instead he's doing this. But if we could focus on the bulbs for just a second, he says they're cheaper and they're better. Okay? They're not cheaper and they're not better. Now, are they cheaper to buy? Sure. Really fast stats. Incandescent bulbs you can get for about 70 cents. CFL costs a couple of dollars. LED bulbs are $10 to $20. So you look at that and you think, well, what kind of idiot lib is spending 10 to 20 times as much on a bulb? You idiot. What a wasteful way to live. But this is the perfect sort of like crystallization of dumb economic policy to think that the purchase of the bulb is the expense we should be concerned about. Is it cheaper to buy? Yes. Is it cheaper? No. Because with incandescent bulbs, a stupid old technology, 90% of the energy goes not into light, but producing heat, which is potentially bad for its own reasons. But when you factor in that CFLs last about 10 times as long as incandescent bulbs, and LEDs last up to 25 times as long, over the same lifespan, you might end up spending just $30 on energy for that LED bulb. You might be spending $165 on incandescent. Many times more. This is his approach. What?
And John, if you could go to my one, please. Can incandescent bulbs do this? Ooh, it's green. It's
no,
red.
They can't.
It's blue. Oh,
blue
yeah.
Cool. I like blue.
Yum.
No,
that's me. Also, Trump, if you want to solve the incandescent problem, like, aren't Edison's original bulbs still on? Mm-hmm. And the incandescent bulbs that we buy are the ones that they made of, like, cheaper tungsten that, like, breaks so that you have to buy more. They're a racket. They're an absolute racket. So these are the bulbs, that's his pothole, right? That's what they try to say. They try to say, like, hey, fill the potholes and people will be happy. But he thinks that the bulbs, like, they're that kind of conversational water cooler discussion that people kind of are upset about. But no one would ever in a million years vote for someone based on whether they brought incandescent bulbs back. But this shows you what kind of a weirdo the president is. Mm-hmm. With infinite power, this guy, his big priority is let's bring back an ancient, outdated technology.
Yeah.
And it's made even more ridiculous by the irony that a light bulb is the universal symbol of a good idea.
Exactly. With great power comes great bulb. Yeah, many people are pointing out, like, make asbestos great again.
Yeah.
Lead paint. cheaper, better,
delicious.
burning peat for heat. It's just better, people. But this is what he's got. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to hear the last video? We have to be super quick on the last video.
It's the same thing. We don't need to bring it back.
It's the same thing.
But like,
it's just faucets.
It's his faucets. He talks about the shower and you turn it on and he gets a laugh and he's trying to loosen up the audience and get them on his side. Meanwhile, I think it's this exact speech that he's giving.
Mm-hmm.
Behind him are two giant flatbed trucks with weights in the back that he wants to pull a stunt. He brings in a crane. He's lifting weights off the back to symbolize the unyoking of American economies by getting rid of weighty regulations. It was so ridiculous that Neil Cavuto interrupted it on Fox News to fact check him about how wrong he was being.
Wow. That's good. The rare time when they'll do that. Someone in the comments is like, you know what? These new TVs, they're too thin. I don't trust them. Let's get those big bulbous TVs back again. I want vacuum tube technology, people.
So crazy.
God. Trump is one big floppy disk. That's what he is when it comes to technology and other things. Anyway.
Amazing.
Let's go to you, TDR community. Some say the Dragon Squad. What do you think is a garbage person of the week? Well, Betsy DeVos, with 43% of the vote, beating out Trump. I have been overruled by the community. Betsy DeVos for pushing for schools to reopen in the fall and overall being just a parody of a terrible oligarch, got 43% of the vote. Trump for sidelining the CDC and attacking Dr. Fauci, got 31%. You've got Governor DeSantis for putting all Floridians at risk of COVID at 11%. Then Ivanka for hawking beans and her try something new unemployment ad. Let them eat Goya should be the motto of the White House. And then Tucker Carlson at 7%. That seems like an injustice, but I think people have just sort of moved on a little bit since earlier in the week. I think he deserves more than 7%, but that's what the people say.
Fair enough.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.